Mook got the kids.
We don't play that while my niggas got these diamonds. See these chains when I be walking, they be chiming. That boy Lance when we talk, please don't chime in. I beat her in, a man came home, I'm out good timing. See they gon' hate cause all that booty on my boo. She gon' hate cause when I gotta cut her loose. They gon' hate.
What's going on? It's 7 o'clock on the PM dial, East Coast time. Man, I sound like an old 80s DJ every time I think I'm saying 7 o'clock on the PM dial.
Maybe that's where your future is, bro. I'm saying it's behind you, but that just may be where it is, bro.
I feel like LL Cool J talking about, somebody say yeah. Yeah. Now scream. Anyways, welcome to the Fighter Share Report. Listen, it's been a big week for sports, bro. It's been a huge week for sports. I don't know about you, but it has been a huge week from what I have seen. What's going on with you?
Not much, brother. Ready for this therapy today, man. We didn't get any therapy on Friday or Saturday, so I mean, now's as good as time as any.
Yeah. That's what they keep telling me. That's what they keep telling me. All right. So I guess we're not going to prolong the situation anymore. We're going to jump right into the show. You ready for that, bro?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, so am I. Or as my friend DJ T Swag would say, so is I. All right. On my Grizzy, on my grind. Look, Top Rank UFC Fight Night recap. I know we talked about the Thursday fight, but the final fight didn't end before we went on the air for the Top Right card on Thursday night. So just kind of asking your perspective, because the fight ended on too many low blows. It was disqualified.
Yeah. Basically, what that was just a frustrated fighter.
Yeah.
You know, Magdalena was head and shoulders better than the guy he was fighting. And when you get a frustrated fighter in the ring, things like that happen. And they made it look, it's a fight. Those rules were broken and he was disqualified, rightfully so. But it's a fight. So I'm not here to be your friend. I'm not even here to make you feel like I'm a good sport. I'm here to win.
Right.
So I'm not mad at low blows. The ref did his job. The fighter did what I would expect a fighter to do. Now, should you do it? No. But I mean, I kind of expect it. Like I said, it's a fight. So I was okay with the stoppage. Magdalena was the clear winner. So we move on to the next.
Man, you just kind of wrap it up real quickly.
Well, I mean, that was the only one we had to discuss, right?
That was pretty much it, because we talked about the other ones.
Right.
I just like the way you just tied that thing up like and put a bow on it.
Oh yeah, nah. I mean, we already know what those fights are, and people try to make a lot about nothing sometimes. But
yes,
this is a fight, bro. What are we talking about? Two people fighting.
So listen, UFC Fight Night. Were you able to catch the whole card?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, so you caught more than I did. Anything that jumped out at you before I throw my 2 cents in?
Yeah. What we're seeing now, these UFC fights, I'm sure a lot of hardcore fans or people that can understand what they're looking at from a technique perspective.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing people come into these matches on two different ends of the spectrum. You got some that have been very prepared, some that kind of stayed in shape, kind of around fight weight, during the whole COVID thing. And you got those that didn't. And it's clearly showing up in these fights because you got people in here using bad technique, looking tired, gassing out, not making weight. Just a whole lot of weird stuff going on, man. So I don't really put a whole lot of stock into some of these fights. One fight that I was interested in that kind of disappointed me was the Roberson versus Marvin Vettelli fight.
Yes.
I'm not butchering his name too much. That fight was supposed to happen on the undercard of the UFC 249, was it, in Jacksonville, or 247, whichever one it was.
It was supposed to be 2. He missed 2.
Yeah, well, that fight was supposed to happen in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And Roberson missed weight twice.
Mm-hmm.
Then he had a kind of very smug and cavalier attitude about it. I was not mad at Marvin for being irate and wanting to fight. And I was expecting more from Roberson because he's a UFC vet. He's been around a while, and he's a pretty damn good fighter, believe it or not. Very good striker and kickboxer, but man, that Italian kid took it to him. Just beat his ass. It wasn't even close. I'm glad the ref stopped it before he got knocked out because that was going to happen next. I mean, he allowed that kid to just basically just out physical him, bully him, got him onto the cage, and just beat the hell out of him. So that was one that stood out to me.
That almost seemed like he didn't Carl Roberson didn't really want to even be in the fight, bro. I mean, that's what stood out to me on that.
Yeah, he was just, he almost seemed too relaxed.
Yeah, Marvin was the much better fighter. I give him credit on that.
I don't know about the much better fighter. He was the hungrier fighter, and he came in with something to prove. Roberson was bullshitting. Now, granted, you had a wrestler that can also strike against a striker / kickboxer, so those styles contrast greatly, right? Both the kickboxer want distance and leverage to throw his kicks. The wrestler wants to get inside. Roberson didn't throw a kick the whole fight, did he? Because it only lasted, a minute or two? It didn't make out the first round, did it?
No, 4:17 in the first round.
Yeah, so, I mean.
It didn't seem like it went that long, but yeah.
Nah, because he was backing up the whole damn fight.
Yeah. And I really like that Italian dude, man. I like the way he just kept coming.
He's a fighter, man. He just want to fight. And you making a mockery of the sport by not making weight and then making it seem like it was something other than that, he had every right to be pissed, and he showed in the ring, so good for him.
And when they said it happened twice, it was 2 separate fight cards that he missed because this guy would not make weight.
Yep. And he missed weight for this fight.
Yeah. Or maybe this was the second one they were talking about. And they just let him go ahead and fight.
Well, got him out the way.
He got him, literally got him out the way. Hey, kickboxing is great when you connect. But when you get bullied, beaten down, and taken apart, it's not going to really help you. So wow, you know what? We're going to extend this one for a moment because we do got to deal with the main event. Jessica Eye losing to Cynthia Calvillo.
Yeah, that was a disappointing fight. Jessica Eye, I mean, wow, no pun intended, I, right?
The eyes have it.
It's happened. I think I've seen her fight a few times, maybe twice. She looked bad. She looked slow. She looked strong, but she looked slow. That Cynthia was all over her, man. I mean, the ground game, the jiu-jitsu. I mean, she was the much busier fighter. It almost like she out-hustled her, and she was trying harder, and she was being more effective. I don't know if Jessica, if the long layoff affected her. Not sure what it was, or if she's just a plotter. She might be one of those plotting fighters, right? Because she beat Katlyn Chookagian, and we just saw her take apart Valentina Shevchenko's sister.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to kind of give her a little credit on the MMA math, right? Well, she beat the number 1 ranked, or no, actually, Katlyn Chookagian is ranked behind this guy. She's ranked number 2. Mm-hmm. She beat her, so you think, okay, she should definitely have the upper hand fighting a female that's coming up a weight class, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, she got work.
Yeah. And Calvillo actually talked about, she pretty much laid out how she was going to do it, and she did it.
Yeah.
So, nice. Great job.
It was a lot of other great fights, too. We just run out of time. We can't get to them all.
Yes. Yeah. Catch us on The Beatdown every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11 p.m., and you will hear the expanded, unscripted version of The Fighter Share. So, most likely we'll be talking about some of these later. Listen. Kind of looking forward to PCP. Not the drug, but the segment. Punch, counter, punch. Fury, Joshua, deal. The deal. Listen. I'm go ahead, bro. I'll take
you go ahead. Nah, you go ahead. I already know where I think we both gonna be on the same side as, but go ahead.
Yes. Honestly, it's brilliant if it works. But I think it's very disrespectful. But when in business, you don't always worry about respect, especially, if you look at the track record of especially Tyson Fury. Respect has never really been in his DNA when dealing business, from my perspective. You're giving Deontay Wilder, or to me, you're putting fuel to his fire, but you don't really think he can beat you anyway. So because you don't feel he can beat you anyway, it doesn't matter if you line up 2 fights after that fight because you feel like you said, you're going to put him to bed. There's no doubt in your mind. Now, I don't know what other tricks you have up your sleeve, but to me, that's completely uncalled for to set up 2 fights after this fight, 2 title fights after this fight. The funny part will be the monkey wrench if Fury loses to Wilder, or if Joshua loses to Pulev. That will be the hilarious part. Now, what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? You might as well. That's a wash until you go get a title back. And yeah, good luck. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I agree with most of what you said, except the last part. It's not a wash. If either one of those guys lose, or they both lose, that's still a massive fight in the UK.
It is.
That fight is bigger than Kell Brook and Amir Khan, both at their primes. And you know how bad we as boxing fans, and I know for the UK people, they definitely want that fight. That was going to settle the grudge match. Who's the best little guy in the UK? And that fight never happened. I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think Amir Khan's going to be around too much longer. Kell Brook's still trying to figure his own situation out. But Fury Joshua, here's why I don't like it, because it doesn't mean a damn thing. There is nothing of substance here. This is Eddie Hearn, again, doing what Eddie Hearn does. He's basically keeping this idea alive in hopes that Fury wins, right? And then it puts a little bit more pressure for any other obstacles to be made. He's basically trying to get out in front of this whole thing and leverage a little bit on his favor. Listen, this was nothing. They both agreed in principle to a 50-50 deal.
Right.
Which is what the hell it was going to be anyway.
Right. And then a 60-40 on the other end. Yeah.
Right. Which is standard if you lose a fight. So this is much ado about nothing. I get the gamesmanship from Eddie Hearn. I don't think Wilder gives a damn. Hopefully he's somewhere in the deep forest of Wakanda training and trying to get his mind right, ready for this fight in December, because that looks like that's going to be the next date for the Joshua Fury trilogy.
Yeah. Wow, you said trilogy. Yeah, I guess you'd say that because, if they set up 2 fights, there's going to be a third somewhere, a rubber match, if the person doesn't win both fights.
Well, I was talking about the Wilder Fury. That's the rubber match. That's the trilogy. This is the third time. Yeah.
They are talking about December on that, aren't they?
Yeah, December 19th.
That's a long way away.
And they're thinking either somewhere in the Middle East or Australia was also a date that was thrown out there. I mean, the venue that was also thrown out there.
That is a long way. December 19th.
Well, you got to think, bro. You try not to compete with football, so you got college and professional football. Maybe the NBA's back by then, but you got to remember too. You got to get those dates filled, man, and you got to get those butts in the seats. The longer you wait, the better prognosis is for bigger fights, unless we get that second wave of COVID, which is probably likely. But you're not going to schedule that fight anytime soon because you can't get the butts in the seat to generate the revenue. You got to pay both of those guys a whole lot of money. You need that live gate to help with those expenses.
Well, they'll be able to get butts in the seats over in Saudi Arabia.
Absolutely, and they can sell tickets for twice as much, I'm sure.
Right. So this it's going to be. They're going to make sure it's a good deal.
Listen, we know Dana White and Eddie Hearn are buddies. Eddie Hearn threw Uncle Dana the lob to do Fight Island in Abu Dhabi. That was through Eddie Hearn.
Right.
That's why you've been seeing them skinning and grinning like 2 Cheshire cats on these last couple of pictures floating around online. These guys working on the back end. They're going to make that fight happen. It's going to happen probably in the Middle East. Eddie Hearn's getting a little bit from Dana White, and if need be, I'm sure Eddie will be able to use Dana in the future. So it's all looking good for those guys.
And hey, as fans, it looks good for us.
Yeah.
As fans, it looks good for us. So I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him at all. Well, you kind of laid that one to bed. Appreciate that. Listen, as we go, meanwhile, all the other sports are coming back. All the other sports are setting up ways to come back, except MLB is still on the fence. The owners want the players to take a huge prorated cut. Players are like, no. The owners want the players to play fewer games. The players are like, no, we need to play this many games. It's just they're playing games with the fans is what they're doing. That's my opinion. They're playing games with the fans, period.
You know, if MLB was a combat sport, it would be Glory Kickboxing, right?
Yes.
They're kind of always going to be around just because people respect the art, people respect baseball, but you're not really getting any new fans. You know, it's kind of, you don't have anybody want to see.
Right.
You know, you got some good fighters, but nobody really want to see it. And that's what's happening in baseball. They got great players, but they don't have any real crossover superstars like that. You got guys like Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, those guys, but man, you don't have any real big stars. And that's just the public perception. Let's talk about the history of baseball and how baseball is a microcosm of American society. You got the haves and the have-nots, and these owners don't share their TV revenue with the baseball players. So it doesn't matter how many games the players play. The owners are still going to get massive benefits from the TV because guess what? Even if people aren't in the seats, guess what they're doing? They're watching at home.
Correct.
So much like what's happening in combat sports, players and fighters alike are going to have to figure out, hey, whose poker face is the best? Who's the stronger? Because you're getting shown all across all these sports spectrums that these owners don't care, man. And MLB baseball wanting them to play 72 games that's at an 80% pay cut. I mean,
right,
20% pay cut.
Right.
Then on top of that, you want to make concessions in other areas of revenue as well, but not touch the TV or the streaming rights. Man, get out of here. That ain't happening, man. So if we don't get any baseball, who gives a damn as far as I'm concerned? One less thing I got to try to flip through the channel and get past. And I actually respect the sport, but I'm okay.
Yeah, I watch it playoffs. Honestly, I do. I watch the wild card playoffs, and then I start watching closer they get to the World Series.
Right. I think that's most people.
So yeah, I gotta hand it to you on that. It's really a much ado about nothing, because if they really wanted to come to terms and play, they would. We already know each time they come up for a CBA for baseball, the owners act the same way. They take it to the last moment till it's about to strike, and then they want to sit down and try to meet them a quarter of the way. Sorry, instead of halfway. In this situation, baseball could have owned the 4th of July. They could have owned it. You talk about coming back in a major way. Every team on the field on the 4th of July. But go ahead.
No, and I'm just saying that people looking for a reason to get out the house, right? I mean,
right.
I just went up the street to Publix and people just sitting out in the parking lot chilling. Where shopping is a pleasure, bro. That's
right.
where you shop to get groceries, not loiter.
Right.
Out. Twisty Treat is packed because people want ice cream, but they get ice cream, they don't leave. They sit around and hang out. So, look, man, this is a time where people want to be out. They could have took advantage of that, but now people gonna stay inside and they just gonna watch fights.
Right.
And you get to watch all these other guys make money while you sit around and argue about how much you want to pay your field hands.
I honestly don't think the owners want the season to happen this year. I don't think they really care if the season plays out this year.
I think that may be the case for the top half, but the bottom half of the teams, I think they hurt. Teams like the Rays.
Look, they're still talking about splitting games between Tampa and Montreal.
Oh, really? I thought they shot that down.
No.
Oh. Well, if that's any indication of what ownership is like in Major League Baseball, now you see why the players ain't giving a damn.
Right. That part. So it is what it is. I mean, we know in all reality that the owners don't give a crap about the fans. Some of the players don't. They just play in the game because they can get paid to play a game they've been playing since they were kids. The fans are the ones with the passion. The fans are the ones who sit out there in that heat and spend $16 for a beer, $12 for a hot dog, $10 for a slice of pizza. They're sitting out there and all that. They're the ones who are miserable waiting for the season to start. So I hope the owners can get the head of it behind and sit down with the players, and you all will realize we got to do something better than what we're doing right now. So,
and you know who is showing up to these baseball games, right? You know the demographics that show up to these baseball games, right?
Yeah.
You know the demographics of these owners that own the teams, right?
Right.
You notice how they don't give a damn about the fans, right?
Right.
So what's the difference but what's going on out in the streets and these protests and riot? Well, let's not get into that. I'm sorry.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah, go on.
It's the same thing. Normally we do our hashtag CBM, but I wanted to talk to you about something. Just because we have the fight coming up tomorrow night. If you will indulge me, because we'll have a CBM. We can pull the CBM up on Wednesday. If you want, we can pull the CBM up now, but I kind of like the idea of just talking about the main event for tomorrow or for Tuesday. You go with that?
Yeah, let's do it. What we
right.
talking about?
Top Rank has a fight coming on ESPN Tuesday, if it'll let me come up. Greer versus Plania.
Joshua Greer, the kid from Chicago, right?
Exactly. I don't know much about Plania.
No, I don't think anybody does, except for the people that's from where he's from. Well, another showcase fight, another opportunity for Bob to get one of his budding young prospects on TV. And guess what? This kid is a knockout artiste. So, hey, if he can go in there and bring his pillow into the ring like he do every other fight and say, don't blink, or somebody finna go night-night, I forgot which one he uses, or he switches it up with the pillow. But if he goes out there and puts his kid to bed like he does everybody else, this would be a great showcase for Top Rank, but also for this kid, Joshua Greer, who I like. I like Greer. He likes to fight. He falls in love with his power. So for me, he's going to have some difficulty if he doesn't learn how to box better. But like a lot of athletes in different sports, sometimes we fight down to our competition. We play down to our competition. So maybe if this kid Plania comes in and displays some real high boxing acumen, makes Greer move around, maybe we'll see a different side of him. But this kid's a tough kid from Chicago. He can punch. From that same tree as Ed Brown, rest in peace to Ed Brown, Kenneth Sims Jr., Desto. You know, we had Kenneth Sims on the show a few weeks ago promoting promoting his documentary that came out Friday on Showtime.
Yes.
Ringside. So if y'all get a chance to check out the documentary on Showtime called Ringside.
Please do.
Nathaniel Gallimore, who we saw in the ring against Lubin back in October. So they got a pretty good boxing nucleus coming out of that side of Chicago. Adrian Granados El Tigre. Granted, he's from what is it? Not called Sicily. What's the name of the little part in Chicago? Cicero. He's from that side, but all those guys kind of came up in the amateurs together in Chicago, so they got a pretty good pedigree going on. So Greer's not to be slept on, but if this kid come out and he's boxing, look for Greer to have a hard time trying to find him.
Definitely. I can't wait for it. It's going to be a good fight. I'm not sure who's on the undercard, but I do know that one's going to be a good fight. So, and we'll be talking about it on the Beatdown afterwards if we're able to, if it ends in time. So please check us out on the Fighter Share Report every Sunday and Wednesday, 7 p.m. The Beatdown every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 11 p.m. Shout out to Miss Georgia. Talk about, look at y'all. She must be talking about you.
Stay home and save lives.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, ESPN hollering at us, bro. They say they want us to come join the team, bro. They need some personality over there on ESPN.
You know what? We're ready to go, Mr. Meadows. We're ready to go.
Yeah, that fight card gonna be on ESPN, bro. The top rank card we're talking about. It's gonna be.
I think 7:00.
And they do them every Tuesday and Thursday throughout the summer. Sometimes on Saturday. So, hey, when you got the gym on Tuesdays and Thursdays, bro, you got something to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be decent. ESPN. I think it's 7:00. MGM Grand. Probably the boardroom again, Las Vegas. Okay. Shout out to my cousin, Lexus. Listen, bro, that's we're in the wrap up right now. Okay. Listen, it's please check out the box on ESPN, but don't forget to tune right in afterwards for the Beatdown at 11 p.m. Again, we're on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We're doing this for y'all. We love it. We love your comments. We love people for y'all tuning in. You can like, share, and subscribe. We'd appreciate it. Let people know on. That's why we said these things out early. The Fighter Share schedule the show. Let people know on. Hey, don't tell nobody. Well, the Badger is single, and we're gonna auction him off. So the more times you watch the show, the more tickets you get to win.
What just happened, bro? What do I look like, bro? Like a perishable item? What are you doing? You gonna auction me off? What is going on, bro?
No, man, just for the weekend. You ain't perishable.
You don't have no more respect for me than that, bro. I'm just.
I do. You going to the highest bidder.
Yeah, it's like a government contract. That ain't
Oh.
saying much.
Highest female bidder.
Jeez, relax, bro. Anyway, man, we just want to give a shout out to everybody. Like my partner said, like, share, subscribe. The Beatdown every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the non-scripted show, which means you just get to hear more of us doing this kind of stuff. We just talk about all kinds of stuff, like this. I'm gonna do with Tony Stark back there. That's my guy.
Yes.
He ain't no Steve Rogers, but that's my guy. But other than that, man, shout out to all the entrepreneurs out there, man. Y'all stay 10 toes down, man. Keep grinding it out. I know it get real hard, but keep pushing through, man. Something will come through for you. Other than that, man, that's it. Fight Us Your Nation. We'll see y'all.